Good afternoon, Massive. It's DJ Bubbles here. Today is July the 1st. It's a national holiday here in Canada, celebrating 157 years of Canada. But today I'm not going to celebrate because really and truly, today is not a celebration for me. Kiniko. The word Kiniko means our home. In the native Indian Cree tribe, Kiniko means our home. So for the native Indians, the indigenous and the First Nations people in this country, they don't get to celebrate their Kiniko because many years ago, Europeans came and decided to exercise their colonialist values and beliefs and take away this land from the indigenous. This country should not be spelled Canada. Rather, it should be spelled Kanata. Kanata. Kanata is this country's name, not Canada. So colonialists came many years ago and stole the land from a very peaceful set of people that we call the indigenous. And I just wanted to share with you the indigenous had a few set of core values. Some of their core values was harmony with nature, spirituality, community at the core of being. They don't deem becoming older as a curse or a setback. Rather, they deemed aging as an association with wisdom, and elders were highly regarded, and family related to extended family. Circular communication showing the connection of all things through stories and mythology. Kiniko, our home, was taken away from European colonialists. What they did was, through acts of violence, they separated indigenous families, stowed them away on reserves, took them to these Catholic schools, saying that they were trying to tame these savages. But when you really look at it, using violence to tear family apart, to me that seems more savage than the practices of the indigenous people. And to this day, the indigenous people still do not have the right to practice their culture and regain a whole generation that was lost and stolen from them because they were captured, their children taken away and sent to these schools where they faced child molestation, where they faced abuse both mentally, verbally, and physically. It's totally unfair, you know. Let me tell you that June the 21st is when it's Indigenous Day here in Canada. But it's not a national holiday like today. So if you want to celebrate Canada, then you should include June 21st and recognize the 21st of June as a national holiday and not today. Although they say that, oh, it's Indigenous Peoples Day, it's still not a national holiday. Their banks remain open, their schools, LCBOs, and what have you. So how does that make it that you're really and truly celebrating the original culture of this country, which is the culture of the indigenous? It's something I don't understand. So today I won't be celebrating Canada. To celebrate today would mean that I uphold colonialism, the theft of the land from the indigenous, and I will not salute this country as Canada. I will salute it as Kanata, because those are the people that should be celebrated. I researched and found out that the flag up at Parliament Hill in the nation's capital in Ottawa is changed every day of the week. So 5 days out of each week the flag is changed. I looked at a video that's on the government website, and they do not hang the flag of the Aboriginal on the Peace Tower. Rather, it's the red and white Canada flag. So even there, nobody acknowledges the people and what the indigenous people have suffered through this in this country and what they still suffer through. There is no indigenous parade for the people whose land was stolen from them. Whenever you go to access a school website or what have you, they say, oh, it's land acknowledgement. But what about the acknowledgement of the people? What about the acknowledgement that the indigenous lost an entire generation and still have not been able to find back who they are, who they were before colonialists came and conquered the land? Even today, as you watch the news, you see people having a great time and saying how proud they are to celebrate Canada. But nobody's saying that they're proud to be a part of Kanata. And that is totally unfair and unacceptable. Kiniko, our home. Kiniko, our home, was stolen by colonialists. Kiniko, our home, has driven us out of the mainland and put us to live on reserves, where our culture and our identity is not incorporated to be worthy enough to be celebrated as a national and statutory holiday today. How can you celebrate the history of Canada when you chose to abolish and remove the memory of where it all started from? Kanata is where it all started from, not from the red and white maple leaf flag. Kiniko, our home, is still under the invasion of colonialists. While people apologize and say they acknowledge land acknowledgement, what about acknowledging the people? What about acknowledging the fact that each and every one of us are prospering off of the land of the indigenous people who have received no true reparation? It is not a indigenous chief that sits on high at Parliament Hill. Today, July the 1st, we're not celebrating the lives of the indigenous, rather the lives and the accomplishments of colonialists who successfully stole Kiniko, meaning our home in the Cree native tongue. Today, I celebrate Kanata. Today, I celebrate, along with the Cree Nation, Kiniko. I will not celebrate O Canada. I will not pledge any allegiance to that red and white maple leaf flag. For one day I hope to see the flag of the indigenous waving high on Parliament Hill from the Peace Tower. You done know. This is DJ Bubbles live and direct.